What's your life season? Where are you at right now in your life, your spiritual development? Where are you really at? It's an important question to ask once in a while because there's a temptation that can come with misanswering that question. And we see it in an odd place in one of Jesus' most sometimes confusing stories. It's in Mark chapter 11, and Jesus is in Jerusalem, and he says, seeing in the distance a fig tree in leaf, fig tree with leaves on it, he went to find out if it had any fruit. When he reached it, he found nothing but leaves because it was not the season for figs. Then he said to the tree, may no one ever eat fruit from you again. So he goes up to this fig tree that's got leaves on it that seem like the wrong leaves for the season. And if it has those leaves, the thinking is it might actually have fruit. But when he gets there, there are leaves, but there's no fruit. In other words, it was portraying a different season than it was really in. And that's an important thing, believe it or not, for us. Because we are to bear fruit for God. The Holy Spirit produces fruit in our lives of different levels and at different times in the different seasons of our lives. And there is a temptation we all have to put the leaves out for a season we're not ready for just yet. To pretend we're more mature than we really are. To pretend God has worked a lesson in our lives that He hasn't really worked all the way through in us yet. There's a tendency to put on some grandiose pictures of who we are and where we are and how much God has done in our lives. And the reality is, God's okay with us not being that far along. God didn't pick on any other fig trees that didn't have fruit, but also didn't pretend like they did. And in our lives, we can pretend like we're more spiritual, we can pretend like we're farther along than we really are. And that's a bad idea. Because it's okay not to be farther along in your spiritual journey than you currently are, as long as you're still growing. Just don't pretend you're more than you are yet. Let God move you at His pace, and don't make other people think you're more than you really are. And that's today's Jumpstart.